Hello everyone. So today we have Mr. Nidhin K Biju, who has secured AIR 89 in the recently announced UPSC examination. He has been a student of GS Integrated 2015-16 program in Rouse IAS Bengaluru branch, as well as has studied the optional over here in Rouse Bengaluru. So first, Nidhin, many congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So first, starting with the whole of this discussion, how exactly this feeling is coming to you? Is it sinking in and all?
So when I came to, like before the results were announced, I was actually a bit too much tensed about the like what the outcome would be. But after seeing the results, I was very much relieved. And I was very much happy. And more than me, my parents were very much happy. And presently, like for a couple of days, I'm able to adjust with the I'm able to sing with the results as of now. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Well done. So, as being engineer, and as I suppose you started your preparation while doing engineering itself.
Yes, sir.
So the first question that would be, how did you decide to go for this examination? What was that tipping point?
Actually, in the beginning, in the second and third year of engineering itself, I wanted to prepare for civil service. But my plan was that I'll after the graduation in 2016, I'll shift to Delhi. Then I'll start the preparation. And but in 2015, I started a branch in Bengaluru. So then I suddenly decided that okay, I should not waste this opportunity. If I join the weekend batch, the Saturday Sunday batch in Raus itself, then I can start my preparation early and in a better manner. So that's how I decided to join it. And my inspirations were a lot of collectors who are working in various districts. For example, Armstrong Palme of Manipur, his work in the People's Road, it inspired me. And there are many collectors from Kerala like Prashant Nair IAS, PB Nuh IAS, all of them have inspired me to come to civil service.
So when you started your preparation, first question for everyone definitely would be like, how did you start it? How was the initial days when you started your preparation? And as we definitely know, being from an engineering background and here you would have a lot of subjects related to humanities also. So definitely you would have been introduced to a number of new subjects. So new subjects were all together. In fact, after 10th standard, majority of us have not studied also.
Yes, sir.
So first, how did that all started, meaning how you started balancing the subjects and what was the initial days of preparation like?
So during the initial days of preparation, I had to balance both engineering as well as this because I used to be I used to get good grades in engineering also, and my teachers used to expect a rank from me in the VTO. So it was a bit difficult for me to balance, and even coming to the final year, there was finally a project and all where I had to concentrate more on that. So during the third and fourth year in engineering, I could not concentrate much on civil service preparation. But the new subject, I felt that they were more interesting to me rather than the science subjects. So it actually, okay, some subjects were new, like economics and all were new for me. But I felt I started liking the subject, and slowly after understanding the syllabus, I slowly started liking the syllabus in a better manner. So it was a beautiful journey. I enjoyed the process. That is very important. Enjoying the process is the main thing rather than getting scared by listening to other people. So I enjoyed the process.
Okay. And if I ask you your memories regarding your first year of preparation in Rouse and so, something you can recall of and give to our students the idea.
Sir, actually, coming to Rouse, I got a great basics in many of the subjects. For example, my first class was actually geography with you itself. So the classes were so nice that I was able to understand the subject from the scratch. Then also, there were great teachers. Like I feel that in our friend circle, we used to say that there are some gems in Rouse, gems or teachers who are gems in Rouse, like Indrajeet sir, then history sir was there. Then there was Vikram Kaushal sir, Anupam Upredi sir. So each of these teachers were like experts in their own subjects, and it made me generate the interest in the subjects. Also, I got some great friends. Like peer group is very much important in this preparation. So I got some great friends who were with me throughout the preparation till now, and also the staff here were very much supportive. because since I was in engineering, I missed a lot of classes in Raus. So I was able to re-attend it in the next batches also. So that kind of support Raus has provided me.
Okay, good. I think, I suppose, majority of our students would be apprehensive about one particular aspect of this preparation, that is time management. And when we say time management, primarily it's about, especially with you, okay, the journey has been inspiring because in the initial days of attending the coachings also, you had to manage your college timings, college preparation, as well as the UPSC preparation. So how was it all, like managing the time properly between the subjects and switching between college studies and UPSC studies?
Sir, for me, actually, time management means what I try to do is I try to ensure that every day is used. Every day is used, because once we lose the flow, then it will be difficult to come back. So each and every day should be used. And for me, I didn't prepare on time for my preparation. I had a like a quantity of syllabus which I should be completing in a particular day. If I finish it within 4 hours, then I'm free for the day. If I finish it within 8 hours, then I'm free for the day. So my focus was on completing the syllabus rather than time. So whatever less time I got, I try to use it efficiently. I ensure that I am not diverted into any other things during that point of time when I'm studying.
Okay, which means the core idea with us is not the quantity of time put, but rather quality of the time how it has been used.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So it breaks definitely a myth that necessarily you have to put 12 hours, 13 hours, 15 hours, and so.
Yes, sir. Yeah. In the initial days, actually, I started with 3 hours of preparation, because more than 3 hours, I couldn't study. I used to even get fever if I study more than that. So that kind of a situation used to happen. So slowly I increased, and the maximum time I could study in a day was around 6 to 7 hours.
Okay.
So, and that too with sufficient breaks, like 1.5 hours in the morning, then take a good break, then 1.5 hours. So that was the kind of, and the whole day, it might add up to around 6 to 7 hours. So I couldn't study more than that. It was very difficult for me.
Now coming to the examination itself, when we see prelims, mains, interview, okay, these are the stages. But throughout these stages, one area where majority of the people would be feeling a difficult part would be keeping up with the current affairs part.
Yes.
So please let us know how you dealt with that, specifically when you have been preparing from 2016-17, keeping update with the current affairs. What are the sources that you followed, and what was the major process of a revision of the things so that you can retain all those informations also?
So for current affairs, my strategy was to focus on 1 year of current affairs, preceding to the prelims. So there, first of all, we have to be daily reading the Hindu newspaper. And I didn't make any notes out of it. I just ensured that I'm just updated with it, so that, and I try to finish the newspaper within 1 or 1.5 hours maximum. Apart from that, we should ensure that we should focus on one magazine, one current affairs magazine. There are a lot of magazines. For example, House has Focus, which has integrated prelims along with mains, and even interview is also covered there. Apart from that, there are many other magazines in the market. But one thing we have to ensure is that we have to stick to one magazine. We have to believe that even if some things are not covered, we should not go behind other magazines. Because I've seen people who do daily current affairs, then they do monthly current affairs, and in the end, they try to do with other compilations also. So I ensured that I didn't do that. Like I just focus on monthly magazine and ensure that I revise it at least 3 to 4 times. And I also never used to make any notes out of it. I use a highlighter. So wherever possible, I try to save my time there. Like highlight it, mark the things which are important for prelims, important for mains. I used to mark like T, M, etc. for prelims, means, and revise it continuously. So that was my strategy for current affairs.
Yes. And now during the preparation, generally we know that the preparation goes like prelims comes main. Generally during 1 year of preparation, you can't segregate as such that I'm preparing for prelims or as I'm preparing for mains. But definitely prelims coming nearer, people definitely have to focus specifically on prelims or later mains and so. So first, what has been your strategy for prelims examination?
For prelims, I feel that there are 3 pillars. One is the static part, one is the current affairs, and one is the test series. So each of them are very much important. We have to balance everything. Like we don't have, we can't compromise upon any one of this. So for static, I ensured that I completed my NCRTs first. Completing my NCRT, especially geography and history NCRTs, I ensured that it is completed. And other than that, again, minimal materials for one subject, one standard book.
Okay.
So more than that, I didn't do. And for current affairs, again, one magazine. So I try to minimize the sources as much as possible and try to focus on revision. Maximum types of revision was there. And when the exam is near, around 3 months, I ensure that 3 months I focus on prelims, because prelims was getting a bit more tougher year by year. So instead of, usually everyone gives 2 months, so I ensure that I give 3 complete months for prelims. And in those 3 months, I was focusing on test series. So like around once in 2 days, I used to give a test series. And in test series, the technique of the test, like how you attend the test matters rather than the content which we get from it. So my focus was on having practicing a technique and implementing that technique in every mock test as well as the actual prelims. And that helped me, like I was getting around 120 in the prelims. I cleared the forest cutoff also. So that helped me in the prelims.
And how do you see the difference, specifically, rather I'm more focusing on this, how do you see the difference between just covering the academic information or academic knowledge, theoretical knowledge, and applying it to questions? So should it go somewhere year round, the question practicing, or through the year we should be just focusing on completing our static portions and all, and leave it to the later portion like mock tests to practice the questions?
Actually, my strategy was that since a lot of syllabus had to be completed, initially, in initial 5-6 months, I'll be focusing on completing the syllabus.
Yes.
I should take a lot of time to complete the syllabus. For example, Polity Lakshmikant, I took around 1.5 months for the first reading. I never used to read it the whole day. I used to divide the time between subjects, but it took a lot of time. But I ensured that I gave so much of time, so the concepts became more clear to me. So even revisions became more easy. And coming towards the end, like in the last 3 months and all, I used to focus more on the test series. Before that, it was the academic preparation of the subjects.
Okay. So Nidhin, now give us some idea or insights into what goes into mains preparation, and how after giving the prelims, how your complete approach changes towards the examination when you go into the mains.
For the mains preparation, answer writing becomes very important. One important thing is that quality as well as the quantity matters. Even if we are not able to, even if we don't know a question, we should be able to attend it. Attend it in a general manner at least. Like whatever we know, we have to write. So my focus was on completing the test. Initially, I was able to write only around 15 answers out of 20. And within those 3 months, the gap, I was able to increase it to 20 answers. I ensured that I even trying to fill the pages. That also I focused on actually. Yes. And the presentation is important. The presentation, the neatness of the answers, the structuring of the answers, giving a proper introduction and conclusion, giving subheadings, writing the answers in point format. So I focused on this presentation as well as the structure. And for content, I was focused more on the current affairs. Current affairs like the Hindu newspaper editorials I focused on. For that, the Rao's daily news headlines in the website is there. Yes. So it gives the list of important headings like Hindu and Indian Express headings. So I used to copy those, like I used to segregate it subject wise, and I used to make notes out of all those editorials. And I used to continuously revise it in a manner. And in those 3 months, I gave around 28 to 30 mains tests. So that helped me in my writing practice. So even I had health issues during those times. And even during the essay exam also, I faced health issues. I got giddiness, I had to lie down under. But practicing this continuously helped me to finish the paper somehow.
Okay. And then now, coming to optionals. Okay, optionals also you have joined here rows for optionals.
Yes, sir.
And optionals generally, the students have the confusion because the idea is probably your graduation, maybe some other discipline, you are taking the optional something else, or maybe same. So first question that goes into this is how to decide the optional. How did you decided the optional? You had, I believe, public administration as the option.
Yes, sir.
So how did you decided that pub ad should be my option?
Sir, actually, initially I was just, I saw the syllabus, I saw the list of optionals, and I pinpointed on some subjects. For example, my graduation is electronics and communication engineering, so I thought of going to electrical engineering also. But then I understood the vastness of the subject, so I left it in midway. Then I focused on some subjects where, and I even started reading the syllabus of some of the subjects.
Okay.
And public admin, I was already interested in polity. So polity and the public administration syllabus are a bit overlapping, and I started reading the public administration subject. I started feeling interested in the subject. I understood that even if I have to read it for a longer period of time, I'll be able to read the subject continuously. So the first thing that matters is the interest in the subject.
Okay.
And other than that, I knew that I'll be able to finish the subject in around 5-6 months. I'll be able to finish the syllabus. So these were the other factors, but predominantly it is the interest in the subject that matters.
Okay. And for the people who are listening to us, regarding PAVAD optional only, what can you suggest? How to proceed with this particular optional? What are the sources that you referred and all?
Here also we should ensure that we should have a minimal number of sources, preferably the standard sources itself. So for paper 1, I had mainly 2 books only. One is the Mohit Bhattacharya and the other one was Prasad and Prasad of Thinkers. And coming to paper 2, I focused on one book is the Radha Vinod Aribam book is there. Only that I used. So apart from these 3 books, I didn't use any standard books. And the optional, Rahu's notes were there for optional. And the rest of the syllabus which were incomplete, I just focused on internet. I just typed it on internet and I tried to cover up the syllabus. So minimal number of sources, again maximum revision was my strategy.
Okay. Now coming to whole of the preparation and the time that you have spent in this preparation, definitely one aspect in the preparation comes up very much, which is the psychological management.
Yes.
Because going through whole of this journey, you have been giving tests, mock tests, gave the examinations also multiple times. There have been repeated successes and failures. So how to manage this psychological aspect? When you get lower marks, how did you manage it? How, what kept you motivated? How did you motivated yourself to go and continue with whole of this preparation?
Sir, actually, accepting failures as it is, that is the main thing I feel. Because as a person, I have in UPSC itself, I have failed prelims once, I failed mains once, and even I failed interview once.
Okay.
So I have failed all 3 stages of the preparation. So, but we have to ensure that we have to be consistently continuing the preparation. We should not take failure to our heart, even success. Even if we get success also, it should not excite us too much. We should balance our emotions, so failure should not come to our heart. And even during the mock test, just 1 week before the prelims, I attended 2 mock tests. Okay. So I thought that this will be the final 2 mock tests I'll be attending before prelims. And my marks were 70 and 75. I used to get around 90s, 100s earlier, but a week before prelims, I got 70s and 75, and I was actually a bit very much sad that now what should I do? But I told myself that I had to forget these 2 marks. I had to believe in myself in my preparation of these many years, and I ensured that I just went with a positive mindset. I didn't take that to heart, so that helped me. And I scored 120 in the actual prelims. And coming to mains also, I was having wheezing issues, and as I told you already, I almost fainted in the essay exam, and GS papers, I wrote it with low BP and low sugar. I was on medicines at that point of time. Still, whatever happens, we should be believing in ourselves. We should be so much confident that whatever happens, if you are able to write, if our hand is working, then you are going to complete the paper. So that kind of a confidence you should be having to complete. That's what I felt. Even during the interview preparation also, initially my interview was supposed to be in April, but due to lockdown, it got postponed. So it was a period of uncertainty. I couldn't focus, we should still focus on the current affairs, whatever is happening. And I went to, traveling at that point of time was very difficult. Even in the interview session also, wearing a mask, face shield and all, they couldn't even see our faces. So everything affected psychologically, but we should ensure that we should believe in the positive. We should focus on the positive things and we should keep moving forward. So that is what I try to implement.
Okay, a very inspirational talk. Yes, so now people, okay, you can come in. Anyone who would like to interact with Mr. Nidhin, and ask their doubts and queries. Yes, here we have.
Hello, sir. Congratulations, first of all.
Nitish, can you be a little bit louder?
Okay. Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I just have only one doubt regarding the current affairs making notes. You said you were focusing on the Focus magazine for the revisions and or stick to a magazine, you said. And also you said you used to make notes of certain topics from the editorial too. So how is it, sir? The topics are analyzed in magazine, right? So why do you make parallel notes for the topics? Why is it necessary, and how to approach it actually? It consumes a lot of time. So I'm just asking. Actually, I started my preparation very late in my days. I just have only one attempt to go with. So I want to clear this doubt. I'm just confused about the current affairs preparations.
Okay. Actually, notes making is really a time-consuming process. That I agree. So I ensured that I made notes only for the important areas. For prelims, I didn't make any notes because if you start making notes for prelims, it'll take a lot of time. So that's what I told. I used to highlight on the magazine which I was preparing. But when it comes to mains preparation, we should have a very crisp notes because we are going to revise that again and again. For example, the 1 year current affairs. Like I used to categorize into subjects like the previous 1 year current affairs. The main topics I used, for example, Lokpal. Lokpal was the new Lokpal was appointed at that point of time. So I ensured that the keywords are there. Around 5 keywords might be like in which part of the constitution it is mentioned, or what are the keywords associated. When did this Lokpal started? So around 3 to 5 points. For example, my note making was limited like this. Around for GS1 around 20 A4 sheets were there. GS2 also around 20 A4 sheets were there. GS3 20 A4 sheets, and GS4 was around 10 to 15 A4 sheets. And I should be able, it should be so crisp that we should be able to revise it between those exam times. Like on a single day, GS1 and GS2 will be there. So in that gap, we should be able to revise GS2. So that much crisp notes we have to make. We should not waste much time on not making. Yeah.
So like you are telling just the important examples you would want to list in the answers that you would just mention in a single word or something like that.
Yes, yes. So what you can write for the mains, you prepare it and write that for the mains. So that is the idea which I follow.
Okay, sir. And what about the data to be listed in the answers, like NSSO data or something? They tell if you list those data that would add value for your answer writing. So how would you list those things, and how do you study those things? How do you accumulate those things and study? How do you exhibit? Do you include that in the crisp notes which you prepare, or it's just the revision of those things separately?
Actually, yeah, statistics are very much important. Like if we are able to start our introduction of the answer with the statistics, it would be really nice. So just focus on the syllabus. Like for example, if the syllabus is related to agriculture or something, so have a data with it. Like it's better to list out some of the data, like statistics and or like how much percent of population is dependent on agriculture and what is the GDP contribution. So this data will be sufficient. One data about agriculture will be sufficient. We don't have to focus on a lot of data on the same subject, but try to get more data throughout the syllabus. One data for each syllabus, that will be each point in syllabus will be sufficient.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Nitish.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Congratulations, sir. It's an honor to talk to you. And like, I just want to know, how do you assess your gradual improvement in the preparation? Like, initially, we don't know anything. We just follow, like, now the classes are going on. Since we are working people, we may not be able to complete the subject like according to the classes. And with the classes, we are getting answer writing. So we won't be able to do that also. So initial days, the tension will be there. Okay, we are not going with the classes or completing the subjects. So you took like 4 years to clear this exam. So how do you like get clarity from the time that goes? I hope you understood what I am asking.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, initial you have to give yourself time. Actually, like don't have a don't give up within 1 or 2 attempts. Okay, you should actually give yourself sufficient time. Also, you don't have to do everything simultaneously. Like let the classes go on, but you should have a separate timetable for yourself. Let the classes go. You should have a separate timetable for yourself, and you should follow it. Okay, it's fine even if you are lagging from the classes. It's okay, but you should study what is manageable for you. So that is more important. You should be the center of the preparation. Like classes will happen, you can make notes of it. Later you can revise it, right? So focus on yourself, like how much you can do it. Do it very much slow, it's fine. Yeah, that's what. Your own timetable matters.
Okay, so while you were studying, even you were with a weekend batch, right? So did you complete subjects that time, or just you were attending the classes, and after you finished your graduation, then you focused on completing the subjects, then you moved to current affairs? Is it like that?
Yes, yes, it is like that. After I attended the classes, I ensured that I get some basics, all those
Yeah.
things. So after that, like after when I got time, I started my self study.
So, okay, you attended classes like this month and you are taking the subjects after 3 months. Were you able to recall and get hold of the subjects, and how did you manage the doubts you had later?
Actually, definitely we'll be able to manage the doubts, and also the teachers are very much accessible here. For example, uh, Ritesh sir was accessible to me towards the, till this time, like from 2016 to 2020. He used to actually teach me in the phone also, like even before the interview preparation. I asked him some doubts like e-governance, how should I answer it in the interview and all. He called me in phone and he took a class for, like he took it like a class, like more than 30 to 40 minutes. He taught me about e-governance. So it's about having a mentor, like keep in touch with the teachers here. They're very much qualified and they're very much supportive also. So keep in touch with the teachers here, have their number, keep in touch with them, text them, ask their doubts. So I used to do that.
Okay. And about mains answer writing, you told you started writing answers after completing your prelims, right? So you felt that was sufficient for you, right?
No, actually, I started focusing on the test series after my prelims. Test series.
Okay.
But I used to
Okay.
write answers here and there. Like once in a while, I used to write answers before prelims also. Try to
Okay.
like I won't say daily. I didn't do daily answer writing and all. But write 1 or 2 answers. Like once in a while, you have to write and show it to a teacher. Evaluation is very much important.
Yeah.
Show it to a teacher. Rectify your mistakes. So,
No,
and
like now our classes are going on, sir, and like every day we are getting to do answer writing.
yeah.
But the thing is, I am not able to like have the sufficient content. So I just wanted to know, like in a month, how much do you write answers on what topics?
Focus on the current, like if a class is going on, try to write answers, previous year questions from that particular subject itself. Also, in current affairs also try to write one answer a day. If it is possible to write one answer a day, it will be great actually. I mean,
Okay.
I couldn't do that daily, but still it would be great if you do it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes, Dikshant, please.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Congrats.
Thank
So
you.
actually, I am like we are in the starting phase, and like there are many more subjects for us, and like we need to cover NCRTs and all other subjects. So we are confused like how we should approach two subjects approach, or like we should parallelly read all the things, like because coaching is not started for the all other subjects also, like economics is remaining, and we are lagging for 5 to 6 months current affairs also. So like how we should cover that.
You focus, main thing is you have to balance both static and current affairs. So
Okay.
take one static subject, for example Rahul's he'll be running one particular subject as of now, right? So
Yeah, two.
focus on that subject as of now, try to complete that subject, only one static subject. Along with that, take 1 month magazine and try to finish that. So only focus on these two things, and when these subjects are completed, then focus on the other subject. Don't try to do multiple subjects, because it will affect the clarity of the subject.
Okay,
So
okay,
focus completely on one static subject one day, okay, and one current affairs magazine.
okay.
That's what I had done.
Okay, sir. And like, sir, our ancient history is completed. So, like, what we should do just after completion of that? Like, how we should approach for the test series and all?
After the classes are completed, try to start the self study, start studying it by yourself, because focus, start with the basic NCRTs, like again read it. For example, 6th standard NCRT is ancient history,
Yes.
right? Even 12th themes is one of the themes is ancient history.
Mhm.
Start with those basics. When you do that basics, you will get a good hold on the subject. Then if you have more time, you try to focus on the standard books, like old NCRTs are there for ancient history. Try to complete the syllabus once, and don't make notes in the first reading, because it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time, and try to highlight it. Use a highlighter, keep highlighting it, and try to finish that subject. Try to finish that subject and give yourself time to, even if the rows, for example, ancient history gets over in rows, and they might start another economics. For example, if they start economics, don't shift your subject. Your syllabus, your timetable should be yours itself. Okay, don't shift it like as the timetable changes in rounds. You finish your subject, you take your own time for ancient history, finish it. Whatever happens in the classroom, let it happen. Let it happen simultaneously. But you should have a separate timetable where you should be slowly completing all the subjects.
Okay. And so, like, my current affair is lagging from last 3 to 4 months. Okay. Honestly, so like, what I should do, like, I have to cover that DNS from the start, or like, I should read magazines only.
Are you writing this year prelims?
2021.
21 you are writing.
Yes, yes.
In that case, you can do both DNS as well as the magazine, because you will be having time. Actually, I did only magazines because I told no minimal number of sources. So if I'm doing one magazine for current affairs, I focused only on that. So one magazine you read, and around, I think 1 month magazine will be around 100 or 120 pages maximum. That you can definitely finish in a week. So even if you have 3-4 months of current affairs pending, you can finish it in a month actually. Like one magazine per week, you can finish the backlog. Like 4 months magazine, you can finish it in a month itself. So in that manner, try to finish the current affairs.
And sir, like, I see that 14 to 15,000 students read same focus with the same strategy. So like, what is the difference between the toppers and like the normal persons?
The main difference is that the toppers do the same magazine multiple times.
Okay.
Okay, multiple times, the same magazine multiple times. And the other people, what they do is they don't believe that for example, focus. They believe that it is incomplete and I have to go behind other magazines also. Okay, they will go behind multiple magazines thinking that the syllabus is not covered. But the main thing is just focus on one magazine. Believe that even if some syllabus is not covered, it's fine. You might lose one question or something, but you'll definitely revise. You will get more than 10 to 15 questions. You'll be balancing out there. So just focus on one magazine. That's what I would suggest.
Okay. And sir, newspaper like economic sections we have not started. So like, if we read some articles from the economic section, so we are not getting even little bit terms. Okay. So like, how we should read that?
Try to read it anyway. Try to read it and the difficult terms which you are feeling. For example, there will be some economic core concepts of economics. Make a list of it. Make a list of it and try to search in internet. Like there will be YouTube videos about those concepts. Or you can contact your teachers. Try to just learn that in a single line, like what exactly it is in a simplified manner. Okay, so you have to, even if the classes are not started, when you read the newspaper, the new terms which you are seeing, you should write it separately and try to study by yourself. Let the classes happen when it happens, but you should do your part. Self-study should be there.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, first of all, many congratulations to you on your achievement.
Thank you.
And yes, my doubt is that how are you so sure about your optional? Like when we start this whole process of choosing the optional, many things pop up in mind. Like many times you might feel that you are interested in more than one subject. Then what was your thought process and how did you reach the conclusion that I want to choose this optional?
As I told you, primarily it is the interest that matters. After going through the syllabus, I was interested in public administration, and the guidance is also another factor. So Rouse had the guidance for public administration here. Also, the syllabus was concise. I already told you that I couldn't study for more than 6 to 7 hours a day. So for me, with the minimal efforts which I put, I should be maximize the results. So that was my focus. And so public administration suited all these requirements, and I decided it. And once you decided on one subject, then you should not doubt yourself. Whatever happens, you should believe in yourself. For example, many people told me that public administration is not scoring, please change your subject. So all those things I heard, but I still didn't quit. I just stick to my that subject, and once you take a decision, stick to it. Stick to it. Whatever other people says, just stick to it. Don't try to change your decisions. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Continuing with the same, apart from going through the syllabus thoroughly of the optional which you were about to take, did you go through the sample study material also to know if you can study this subject with, that much intent, in the coming time? Did you actually go through the sample study material as well?
I didn't get you. What sample study material?
Like some syllabus is there and you get online some study material, so to get the feel of the subject, that thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, that I tried. Like I tried tried reading some chapters of public administration initially.
Okay.
Before taking the decision. Because it is very nice to study actually. It's very nice to see the sample first, read it first. Only if you're interested, you should choose the subject. I did that.
And sir, that is a very genuine doubt which comes to me. Like a few subjects, they have very lengthy syllabus. But what if they interest you? Should you still go ahead, or should you take into mind this lengthiness of the syllabus subject as well?
If you're so much interested in that subject, then definitely you should take it. Okay. Syllabus can be completed. How much of a length it is manageable. It is manageable. So if it interests you, you should definitely take it.
Okay. Because sometimes people scare you by saying that even if you are interested, you should go for a concise syllabus subject because, it is very lengthy and all that thing. So that's why I asked that.
No. Still, even if it is lengthy, if the subject interests you, you should believe in yourself and you should take that subject.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And congratulations. Many congratulations again.
Yes, Naresh, please.
Good morning, sir. First of all, congratulations for your success and best wishes for your next journey.
Thank you.
Sir, my question is about the day-to-day life management of time. Sir, we have a lot of things to do, sir, like notes, NCRTs, books, essay writing, current affairs. Can we prioritize these things, sir, for some time?
I didn't get you. Prioritized.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, you should not focus on doing everything in a single day. Okay, you should actually prioritize. Like you should see the important subject should be completed in the initial phase of the preparation. Okay, and essay and all I used to write after my prelims. The first essay I wrote after my prelims. So I knew that I would be able to do it like after prelims also. I'll be able to get time for around 10 essays, writing around 10 essays. So that much I practiced. So you should be able to prioritize. Even ethics, I completed the syllabus after my prelims only. So you have to prioritize the subject. You don't try to do everything in a single day itself. I used to maximum do around 2 subjects in a single day. Maybe maximum 3. Static 1 subject, current affairs 1 month or something. Then the optional. So more than that, I didn't stress myself. So that is very important.
Sir, can we stick to Focus magazine?
Definitely.
Okay.
It has integrated prelims as well as means editorials are given there. You can definitely stick to Focus magazine.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Meena, please.
Hello. Congratulations, sir. Sir, my doubt is so relatable to all other hours. In case if you missed any class or any day newspaper, So how did you manage to clear backlogs or pile of syllabus, pile of newspapers?
Actually, even if I'm missing one particular newspaper, I didn't pile it up. Okay, I didn't pile it up. Something, it's okay. You can't be perfect in your preparation. There'll be some backlogs. There'll be some days newspaper you have not studied. There'll be some months of current affairs, which is okay, current affairs like magazines. I used to complete the backlogs, but newspapers I didn't used to read the papers which I missed. I just used to leave it. I just used to leave it. Yeah.
Leave the newspaper, that day newspaper.
That day newspaper, I left it actually. I left it. I didn't keep on piling up, like, because if I keep on piling it up, definitely I won't be doing it also, and I'll be stressing myself too much. So I left it. But there are people, there are candidates who pile it up and they read it also. So it depends on what kind of a person you are, whether you will do it or whether it will affect you. Your psychology. If it affects your psychology negatively, then better not to read it. It's fine. You can cover it from the current affairs magazine itself. So it depends on what kind of a person, what suits you best. It is important. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I want to know, I'm a working professional, so how should I manage my time since in a single day we have the job also? So can you give us some advice on how to manage the time on a daily basis for working professionals?
For working professionals, I would suggest that try to utilize the free time. For example, early morning, try to do around 2 hours, 2.5 hours if it is possible. Early morning, that time will be free usually. And after coming back from work, again another 2 hours. I won't tell you to do more than 6 to 7 hours because it becomes very much impossible to do that much of time. So 4 hours of preparation with a lot of quality. Like when you're preparing, just concentrate completely, double the efficiency, these kind of things. So 4 hours of preparation with work will be sufficient if you have an year. If you are doing it consistently every day, that will be sufficient. Yeah.
Okay, sir. That's thank you.
Yes, Anand, please go.
Good morning, sir. It's a privilege to meet you today. So I have 2 questions for you. Actually, even now I'm in the situation where you were when in your initial days. I'm also in my final sem exams right now, but thanks to Corona, it's not happening very soon. So what are your suggestions so that I could take both of them simultaneously in my university exams also and my coaching also?
It actually depends on, like, for example, I used to clear all the exams at least in the university, in the college. So I could have given some time for I could have afforded to give some time for UPSC. But graduation is equally important as well, because that is the first thing. That is the minimum eligibility you need to write the exam. So ensure that you clear all the subjects, because there are people who focus on this and lose out on the graduation subject, especially this is a final year. So ensure that now you can give more time to your graduation itself. Finish it off. Don't take too much tension. Try to focus like around 3 to 4 hours for UPSC also, because you have time now. But don't miss out on your graduation because that is equally important.
And the second question, sir, is regarding the interview. I think it's kind of silly, but is it true that they ask out of the box questions like what looks like half an apple, or what would you do if I run with your sisters? Because in the internet, it's all over the internet, but I have not heard anything like that in mock interviews which are recorded.
So those kind of questions are not asked in the interview.
Yeah.
No, that is like it's kind of fake news, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, Srishti, please.
Hi, sir. Firstly, congratulations and thank you for interacting with us today. And sir, I wanted to ask that, as you said that you had public administration as your optional, and because that was not your background, so I wanted to know that, so by when did you actually start your optional preparation? By which month or by when did you start your optional preparation?
Optional preparation I started after my graduation, because optional classes are usually full-time classes. So even though GS we have weekend batches, but optional we need to dedicate full time for it. So for that I couldn't do it during my engineering preparation. I did it after my graduation 2016 June. I did it in Raos itself. Yeah, after graduation.
How much time did you give to your optional, sir?
My initial part of my preparation was almost completely focused on optional. I tried to complete it by December. June I started it and I tried to complete it by December, so that from January onwards I can focus on the GS part more intensively. Yeah.
Yes, Harsha, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, heartily congratulations.
Thank you.
Sir, I want to ask about that. Sometimes we feel like having exhausted after reading a long time. How would you recall after that?
You have to give yourself sufficient break. You have to give breaks in a day also. You have to give breaks in a day also. You have to take a complete day as a break also. For example, after 5 days of preparation, you can take a day of break. Completely, you can take a break. Also, peer group matters here. The kind of people you are with, the kind of friends you are with. So this helped me actually. I had some great friends with me. So we used to hang out. That kind of things like I can't sit in a room and study alone. Like we used to go to library. We used to go to a library. We 4 people used to study together. And there was like, during the breaks, we never used to discuss about preparation. And we used to be having a lot of fun in those times. So that is important. The peer group helped me in this. And you have to take sufficient breaks also. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Heartily congratulations to you, sir, on clearing civil services. Sir, I have a doubt that usually now we have classes going on, GS classes are going on now, and after a point, even optional classes are going to start. And along with it, we need to start studying as well, like both classes, along with that to cover up the syllabus. So it consumes a lot of time, like for example, 4 + 2, 6 hours of classes, and then doing it every day. How do I manage time with reading the subject and then watching classes as well? Like how was your weekly schedule in that way?
See, after the classes, around, as you told, around 6 hours of classes would be there. But apart from that, during the classes, during the months where the classes are running, try to get at least 4 more hours of self-study, because self-study is very much important here. So at least try to get 4 more hours of self-study. And after the classes get over, you increase the time of your self-study. It will be a bit difficult. Even I couldn't manage it. I was also struggling. But try to get 3 to 4 more hours of self-study during those time, and try to be more focusing on efficiency, quality of your study rather than the number of hours you put in. So that will help you to complete the syllabus.
And sir, one more doubt, that how were you able to revise the whole thing which you have studied for like 7 to 8 months, or like the first reading, revise it again very concisely, very effectively, because at the end of before the exam, there is very less time to revise everything. And then how were you able to concise it and very effectively?
As I told you, like first of all, minimizing the materials is very important. Like one standard book per subject. So that kind of minimizes in everywhere possible. Try to minimize your sources. Try to minimize the time which you have to spend on it. And revision is very much important. Revision is very much important because one-time reading of a textbook will not help you remember it. So you have to stop reading new materials at one point of time. For example, I used to stop reading new materials around 2 months before the actual prelims, and I used to focus on revision only. So even if a lot of syllabus is left, even if you didn't complete your syllabus, the syllabus won't be completed also. I had to leave many subjects. So, but still you have to believe in yourself. You have to revise what you have already studied, because that will be more than sufficient to clear the. You don't have to study all the subjects.
Sir, good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, first of all, hearty congratulations, and really it's a honor and privilege to speak to you, sir. So basically my doubt would be like apart from the syllabus and everything, dealing with the pressure, I just want you to elaborate on one thing, sir. How were you dealing with the your inner demons when you were consistently putting your efforts for all those 3 years, 4 years you were studying? How were you answering the questions which used to pop up in your mind, those doubts, those queries, each and every time when you sit for preparation, sometimes it happens, no, some of the questions pop up in your mind, like will you be able to do it, like will you be able to reach there, like what if it doesn't happen, those uncertainties, how were you dealing with those things, sir? Like
one thing is that see, you have enough time to fear, like have that fear after the exam. Till the exam, you should be focusing. You should be so much confident on yourself that you will succeed. Okay, whatever happens, you believe in yourself. If even if anyone doubts you, like the relatives might start doubting you, friends might start doubting you after some attempts, but still you have to be confident on yourself. And so after you give the exam, you have sufficient time to be afraid of the results. So I had that also. And coming to the demons which you are talking about, we all have many imperfections in ourselves. But what I try to do is I didn't try to rectify those because I didn't want to do a perfect preparation. Just try to balance it. Just live with it. Live with it. Try to focus more on the preparation. So don't try to discipline your. Like I didn't try to discipline myself much because I knew that it was very stressful on me. So I knew that I had some limitations. I had a lot of limitations, but try to focus on the preparation. Focus on the success rather than failure. That's what I would say.
okay, sir, thanks, sir, thanks a lot.
I just wanted to ask this. It's related to what Preeti asked earlier. So it's about stress and pressure that you feel during the preparation. So it's about a 1.5 year long process, maybe, like still writing till prelims and waiting for the results. So how do you deal with the uncertainty and the stress? Like there's a lot of like, are there any particular specific methods that you use? Like Anudeep sir had used meditation, like that. Have you used something? Because it will be very useful for our preparation also if we could know that. Thank you.
Actually, meditation and all, I tried doing it, but I couldn't sit for even 2 minutes. So I have not used any such techniques. And regarding the uncertainty, I used to believe in myself. Like I was very confident that at some point of time I'll be clearing this. So uncertainty, let anything happen, but you believe in yourself. Okay, be that much confident that you will clear this exam someday. So that was my strategy. Like I never used to do any other techniques.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, Swapnil, please go.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Heartily congratulations to you. So my doubt is regarding current affairs. So while reading the newspaper, I read multiple articles which have a criticizing viewpoint towards the government, right? But while writing answers, we how do we keep the balance in the viewpoint, keeping a positive aspect to whatever the topic is.
Since you like civil service is like a part of government, it's a part of government, right? So when we are trying to join the government, we should not be too much critical of it. So our ideologies might be different, okay, but it should not reflect in the answers. As a civil servant, you should be able to analyze both the aspects. So for that, try to what to say, like don't be excessive. Try to practice from the beginning itself. So it won't come suddenly. Like try to, if we get a topic, try to analyze the positives as well as the negatives. Focus on the positives. Don't overly criticize the government, especially in the interview and all. It is very much like important that you try to be a bit pro governments. Don't criticize it much. Some newspapers are a bit critical of the government, so there also you try to balance with another newspaper. For example, Indian Express, Hindu, you can balance between both. So these kind of things can be done. Even in the internet, you will find sufficient sources where they analyze the positives as well as the negatives. Focus on those. Don't be critical. Don't be totally critical in your answers. It will give a negative impression for the examiner.
Okay, got it. And while concluding the answers, should we be inclined more in the positive side, or also take a balanced judgment in that?
In the conclusion, it should be, it's better if you be more positive in your answers. It should be more futuristic. It should be positive. It should be something very kind of, what to say, it should generate hope in the evaluator. It should generate a bit of hope in the evaluator. So that will fetch you more marks.
Okay, got it. Thank you,
sir. Okay, so now I suppose with the paucity of time that we have, now we'll have to stop taking the questions, and I hope that almost all of your queries have been solved now with the different types of questions, and now you have a better insight into the preparation strategy. So Nidhin, it was very good talking to you.
Thank you.
And it was definitely, it would be very, very helpful and motivating for our future aspirants, for our students who are preparing for this coveted examination.
Thank you.
So very nice talking to you again. Congratulations again, and all the best for your all future endeavors. It's always such a good time and very hearty time to talk to the students like this after success.
Thank you so much.
So all the very best for your future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.